Hi and welcome everyone. It's Jennifer Britton here at the Group Coaching Design Studio. Great to have you join us. Looking forward to our second blab today. And I've just started our recording. It is almost 9:42. Hope that everyone can hear me. If you're on the line, can you hear me okay? Please just reply in the chat. I think we're going to have more people today on the call, and looking forward to it. So we'll get going in about another minute. And if you are just joining me, hi, I'm Jennifer Britton. I'm the author of Effective Group Coaching and From One to Many, Best Practices for Team and Group Coaching. This is the start of a blab series. So I started this last week, and we are here on October the 29th. I am looking forward to our second blab and just want to let people know that I have scheduled our third blab. It'll soon be up at the site. It's going to be Thursday, November 12th from 9:45 a.m. Eastern through to 10:15 Eastern. Really want to thank you for joining, whether you are here live or increasingly, I think a lot of you are going to be joining me by video recording. Thanks for joining us. I hope that you are as excited as I am about the topic of group and team coaching. That is our focus here at the Group Coaching Design Studio. A little bit about me. I've been working and writing extensively for the last 12 years on the area of group and team coaching. I tend to work mostly with professionals in the areas of leadership, small business development, and in the last decade, I've supported thousands of coaches, probably like yourself, in helping them design their own group coaching processes. So a little bit about what we are going to do today, and hoping that others will join in as we go. This is blab number 2. I have framed it as getting back to the basics. I think it's always important to get back to the basics of what is group coaching all about. Last week in our recording, I mentioned a quick definition of it, and also today I want to build on that by getting into one of our core areas, which is questions. I write in From One to Many that questions form the backbone of any group or team coaching conversation. And so as we look at creating connection in today's conversation around how can coaches engage more with their groups as well as connect their groups more effectively, I hope that you will get some new ideas. So these calls are only 30 minutes in length. After I go through a bit of content, we will open up the seat. Last week we had a couple people join in. We'll see how many people join in today. And with that, looking forward to getting started. So again, let's go. My post today is actually linking back to a past blog post that we had, and it is about 6 coaching questions to strengthen connection in groups and teams. And it goes back to September 6th of this year. So coaching is all about helping people. Group coaching is all about connecting people together. And really, I think it is about helping people connect not only with the coach yourself, but also with others in the group. As I wrote back in September, and I'm reading from the Group Coaching blog, which you can find at groupcoaching.blogspot.com, I wrote, creating deeper levels of connections among team and group members in a team or group coaching process is key to opening the doorway into greater levels of trust between group members. Greater level of trust often translate into greater levels of safety, vulnerability or openness to each other, and performance. So today's post and today's call is actually going to provide you with 6 potential coaching questions that you might want to incorporate in your work with groups and teams. Number 1, what does each one of us bring that's unique to the team? So curious to know, as you think about what makes you and your work unique, flip that around and ask your clients, what is it that each person brings unique to that group or team? Question 2, what strengths do we bring individually or collectively, and where do they overlap? What gaps exist? I think in our work with group and teams, there are a lot of different cool things that we can be doing, whether we're bringing in profiles, things like StrengthsFinder, helping a team understand where their natural capabilities, their strengths, their opportunities, helping those people really look at what is similar and what is different is great. So I want to welcome those who are just joining us as we get going today. We are looking at connection in group and team coaching, and connection is essential. We want to make sure that we are definitely connecting people together. My hope is that this blab, as it gains some traction, is actually going to be a connection point for coaches. So if you're just finding us, my name is Jennifer Britton. Thanks for joining us here at the Group Coaching Design Studio. While that's the term, many of these skills are related to workshops, retreats, teleclasses, really anything that you want to be doing in terms of connecting groups together. So I'm just sharing, for those who have just joined us, just sharing a couple of coaching questions you might want to incorporate if you're working with a group or a team. One of the things that I think is important in a first or second conversation is getting people to think about how are they connecting with each other? So not only allowing people to get to know each other, but also helping them look at what is common amongst our group. So actually at 10:30 this morning, in about 45 minutes, I'm launching a new group of my own, hence why we've got a bit of an awkward time this morning from 9:45 to 10:15. But part of what we'll be doing in that first call is really getting people connected around who are you, what are you bringing to this group, and what do you notice about the similarities? Helping people connect around similarities is essential, as is helping people understand some of the differences that exist. And it's those differences that usually we can really leverage and harness so that we are able, at least in a business context today, to get the greatest impact. When groups know each other, it's a little different than working with groups that don't know each other. So there's the whole forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning stages. And many of you are probably familiar with Bruce Tuckman's work. Of course, if we go back to the 70s, that's when he started his research into how do groups form? How do teams form? And in the last 30 years of my work, whether I've been a team leader or an external professional like myself now, helping groups understand that they are moving through phases can actually be a real normalizing process. For those of you that are familiar with coaching competencies, we often say that normalizing, helping people understand how they fit in, how they are aligned with others is key to the coaching world. And certainly normalization is key in group and team processes. We want to help them understand for themselves that yes, in a second or third call or a second or third touch point, there may be some friction that's breaking out as people get to know each other. So I want to welcome those of you. I see Dan, and we have some comments here. Yes, too many groups try to rush and skip the forming stage, which causes problems. And I think for us as coaches, it's also very key. We may many times want to just get going because we want to jump into the coaching work. But if we're not spending time looking at designing the coaching agreement, we can really get ourselves into trouble. So again, a number of you are joining us. Welcome. I'm Jennifer Britton. Today's topic is about creating connection. And really, the forming stage is so essential. As I was saying a few minutes ago, I've got a new group forming at 10:30, so in about 40 minutes. And a lot of what we're going to do in our first call is get to know you, create some ways of working or how we as a team want to operate. Again, some of you may use different labels for that ways of working. It could be called team agreements, group agreements, ground rules, terms of engagement. You know, a lot of this also depends on who are the people that you're working with. Don't overstep it. And I get a lot of comments or questions from coaches saying, well, that takes a lot of time. I only have an hour with the group. Well, where things do go off the rails is if we haven't come together around a shared point of focus. So it may be useful to really think about how do you as a group want to operate and to actually focus that. So again, a huge number of people joining in now. Welcome to all of you. Jennifer Britton, as we go, if this is your first blab, because this is a pretty new technology, welcome. We've just seen, and my screen is so small, I can't see the names, but if you'd like to give a bit of a clap, you'll see some hands there at the bottom right. And I love seeing those claps. Thank you. I want to make this an interactive call, and I'd invite you, if you have some comments, to please, you'll see on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, send a message to us. I'll read it out because one of the things we're going to be doing is this will get uploaded to our YouTube channel so that more coaches can benefit from it. It's 9:45 on a Thursday morning, and that's not always a convenient time for us as coaches. So again, welcome to all of you. If you would like to tweet about this, on the upper left-hand side of your screen, you'll see Tell a Little Bird. So I want to say thanks to Chris. Thanks for sending a shout out that we are online. And this is the second of what I am intending to be a regular series of calls. If you joined us a little bit later, and we do have people streaming in, our next blab, our third blab, is actually going to be on Thursday, November 12th, also at 9:45 to 10:15 a.m. And in that third blab, I'm going to be talking about core design elements. Today's topic, of course, is about connecting groups, so essential. And within that, we want to help people feel connected, feel unique as well. And also we want to get a good sense of what's going to work well for this group, because each and every group is a little bit different. Learning styles are pretty key in a lot of the work that we do. And you will want to notice how do your group members like to interact together? I tend to work with a lot of business owners as well as a lot of leaders. Many of them are extroverted, so they love the verbal channel. And I also do work with a lot of writers. Writers would probably enjoy this sort of format, and I haven't done a writer's blab, but I think they would also enjoy this format where you can write and comment and not have to necessarily verbally process. So we do want to be aware, even in the startup of a group, what are people's level of comfort with each other? What is their level of comfort with the modalities that we're using? And how can we make adjustments in our programming to be able to meet those needs? One of the things that a lot of group coaches are doing these days is starting additional sort of channels for group members to connect. So it's not only in the room or on the phone that people are connecting. I can see that we've got Social Sales Link, who is starting a new group subscription coaching business, and she's got some questions. So please bring your questions on, because that's the intent. I'm going to open the lines up for actually joining me in a seat. If you'd like to join me in a few minutes, we'll actually look at your questions. Connecting groups, there's another question here. Thanks for putting that out by MBTI Est. Are there any books that you'd recommend related to connecting groups? I see you have a lot of books on the shelves behind you. Yes, I do. So I'm an author. So my first book, Effective Group Coaching, came out almost 6 years ago. It was the first book in the world on group coaching. And if you haven't picked it up yet, it's available at Amazon or through my publisher, Wiley. Connecting groups, there are really, I think, a lot of great resources. You don't just have to go to books these days. Again, I'm a bit old school in that respect, but I would encourage you to just go online. And actually, 3 websites I would strongly invite you to visit, and there's no payment service here or anything, but some great inspiration can be found at businessballs.com if you are working in the corporate context. Businessballs.com has actual scripts of many great activities that you can be bringing in, not only for coaching work, but planning work, strategic planning, etc. Another website I really get sparked by is wilderdom.com, and that comes from a fantastic Australian outdoor educator. He's pulled together links to over, I think it's several hundred energizers and group connection activities. I think he calls it his group toolbox. And if you click on there, that's wilderdom.com. You will be able to find a treasure trove of activities. I think what's important, and maybe we'll do another blab on this, but as we're selecting activities or questions to get the conversation started, we do want to make sure that we are framing it in the themes and the focus areas of the group. So in terms of books, we can go a wide variety of places. I'm just going to point you to ASTD Press, the former American Society for Training and Development. They have actually a press that publishes dozens of books every year, and I'd invite you to check out them. I think even though they've rebranded to ATD, they're probably still known as ATD. So yes, Frank, you've got that right. Wilderdom.com is one website. businessballs.com is another website, and also ASTD Press or ATD Press. So connection is key. If people are not feeling connected and safe, if they are not feeling like they are being respected by others in the group, they're not going to open up. And as I said last week in our first blab, if people are not in that safe space, they're not going to enter into the intimate conversation space of coaching. Coaching is an expedited conversation. It helps people move from A to B more quickly, and hopefully a way that is more aligned with their values or that they are more aware of. Lots more to say on this. What I do want to do is make sure that we open up the lines, though, because one of my reasons for doing a blab is to have a bit more of a two-way conversation. So I'm hoping that we might have our earlier caller on the line who's going to be launching a program soon. The scrolling has gone up, and I don't want to touch it to actually do it. Bryn, is it Bryn? I'm going to actually invite you, Bryn, if you'd like to come live with me on the call, and we'll see what your questions are. So, Bryn, I'm just opening you up, and I think we can give you the mic as well. Let's see. Can you hear me, Bryn? And there you go.
Can you hear me okay?
Hey, welcome. Great. Thanks for joining us today at the Group Coaching Design Studio. So you are going to be launching your own program soon, it sounds like?
So I have 8 partners, and we are launching a subscription. There's a weird, do you see the weird issues with the video, or is it just on my end?
It's a little slow. It's looking like slow-mo. So it may be your connection.
The nanny cam. Well, if you don't mind.
Why don't you keep going? We're here. Okay. We're hearing you okay. So we'll just listen to your voice, not necessarily look to the screen.
Awesome. So we are launching it as a subscription agreement. Each of the 9 of us are committed to 4 coaching hours a month. So anyone that is interested in popping in and getting advice or particular, it's all around social selling. So they have 36 hours a month available to them. It's kind of a first come, first serve, but anyone can pop in and watch as many as they want. In the hour, if they get their question, and great. If not, they'll have to move on to the next coaching call. But there's also a forum, and there'll be a library of recorded videos and everything else.
Excellent. Sounds exciting, and I love it. This is what I love about group coaching, is it can take so many different forms, and certainly I'm hearing this is like an on-demand drop-in, also access some of the training that you might need in order to be more effective. So what are your questions this morning, Bryn? Is there anything I might be able to point you towards?
It's very different than having the same group meet every week, which I've done before. And so I didn't know if you had any advice on how to still create a community environment, even though there could be, 200-300 people that are subscribing, and maybe they run into each other a couple of times, but that's it. And so how do I kind of create a cohesive community around people that are not consistently on the same calls all the time?
Yeah, and that's such a challenge, and it's such a reality for so many coaches and facilitators today to find those micro moments and those micro moments of connection. Again, just options. You know your business model much more than I do, but I think if there's any way to get people sort of more in cohorts, even if it's on a quarterly basis, so that they do start feeling connected with others. I think, the virtual world is phenomenal. I'm the first person to say that, and it can also feel very very unsafe to people. So I'm guessing you will have some chat forums. Is there a way that people will be able to connect with others? And again, maybe there are different streams. I don't know how similar you want people to be grouping together, but would it be useful, and these are questions for you to consider, would it be useful to have, some niching so that people selling in small business, medium business, large business could also have the option at times to connect more around their issues?
Yeah, we could do
just
that.
Something throwing out there.
That's a good throw
So
out.
again, if you've got 36 hours, you've got 36 hours. There's a lot you can do in a 36-hour window with the numbers of you, the 9 or 10 of you that are working together. So I think be aware of it. And as your community builds, you're going to be noticing, I think, across the chatter, across the questions that are coming up, what people are really wanting and yearning for.
So you like the idea of not just having an open forum every single time, but niching the topic per se, or the industry or whatever, something that will bring in one specific niche. It's interesting. I didn't think of that, and I think that's something I'm going to put by the group. I love that.
Yeah, again, and it may be an option. I think what helps groups really excel many times is the diversity. So you don't want to, again, there could be a nice interflow between having a diverse set of calls and then one that might be more focused. Options. So again, we still have people coming in, and I want to thank you, Bryn, for jumping into the Blab hot seat today. This is something we'll be doing every call, and for those that are just joining us, Thursday, November the 12th is our next call. That's good. So your signal is coming in and coming out. I want to thank Bryn for joining me. We've got Frank Clark. Thank you very much, Frank, for doing some research. If you are on the call live, and this unfortunately does not show up in the video, he has provided us with the URLs of the different websites. His mic is also not working, and he's just ordered a new one. So, Frank, if you have questions, you can always pop a question in the chat box there, or join me hopefully for a future call. And again, Blab, I think, is a really neat platform. We may probably not be using it for coaching along the lines of confidentiality. People can come and go. That is always a consideration. And just going back to our last call in, something for consideration there. Again, if you are a certified coach with the International Coach Federation, a BCC, or holding any other credential, one of the key things is really important to maintain confidentiality amongst group members, as well as what goes outside of the group. So I see a question here from Frank. Do you use Facebook for your group coaching sessions? Great question. And until about a year ago, I was a little bit hesitant to set up secret groups within Facebook, only because of privacy settings and how frequently they change. That was a key driver for me as a Canadian business. Again, we have a very stringent privacy series of laws. And so I really sort of resisted using Facebook. A lot of my clients too are very busy professionals. They're inundated with too much social media, so they do not want any more social media added on. And so I had not necessarily been resisting it, but not embracing it as fully as I have. So some groups, not every group that I run, we may have a secret Facebook group for people to come together and connect around. If people are interested in us, because really the impact of coaching happens more in between the conversation touch points than it does when we're on a phone or in a room together. I think there's some fascinating stuff, and there's not a lot of research about this, but there's a lot of things that happen between group members in between those coaching touch points. So traditionally it's been, we're meeting every 2 weeks, we're meeting every 2 weeks. Whether we now use Facebook, here's another media that is possible. About 3 years ago, when I was writing my second book, From One to Many, I started hearing a lot about an organization called Journal Engine, journalengine.com. And I actually have a case study around them in the book, in From One to Many Best Practices for Team and Group Coaching. Journal Engine was originally created, I understand, as an online journaling tool, but increasingly coaches have been using it as a tool to also help groups shape. So imagine, and probably many of you as coaches work with clients, you do journaling, whether it's online, offline. Journal Engine is bank level security. So in terms of any considerations with confidentiality or loss of that, it's very, very, very solid. The nice thing about Journal Engine is if everyone has an account in the group, the client, the person being coached, can decide what they share with others, what they share with the coach, and then what they share with other group members. And that's done on a post-by-post basis from my understanding. So again, they can give you a full rundown, journalengine.com. And again, thanks Frank for putting that up on the chat function here. That's another option that I hear a lot of people using these days. What you do want to keep in mind are what makes sense. Again, we always want to bring it down to the client's level. What's going to be useful for them? What do they appreciate? what is an important consideration in terms of security, confidentiality, and other ethical considerations. We do want to encourage conversation, because in group coaching, team coaching, it's not just the one-on-one conversation between the coach and the client. I think clients, or the people being coached, tend to get just as much, if not more, from the connection with others. So Frank's done some research in the last few minutes. He says there's a free 14-day trial at journalengine.com. Then it's $69 a month thereafter. So that's my little plug for Journal Engine. I'm not an affiliate or an associate, but I think it's a really neat service to check out. Some other things, again, if you have any ideas and you're on a call today, please put that in. But the thing with Facebook is it's easy, and a lot of people are on it. So make sure that when you set it up, you're not just setting up a closed group, because closed groups will show up in people's profile. You're really going to want to look at secret groups, especially if you're wanting to maintain confidentiality. And if you're going with a closed group, then I think from an ethics perspective, the clients need to understand that that could be visible and seen by others in the world. And again, as privacy settings continue to change with Facebook, and I know last week they did a whole change in terms of what was visible to others, you're just going to want to make sure that that aligns with what you're wanting to create. So we've got a few minutes left. It's just 10 after 10. I want to thank you for joining me on this quick conversation this morning about creating connection within groups. We've had a couple of people either add questions or join in. Thanks for the love, as I like to say it, the hands. You can always click on that. And we're back here on Thursday, November the 12th at 9:45. Again, my topic in 2 weeks is going to be about looking at core design elements. What are some things you can be doing pre-program, during the program, and post-program to really boost your client's experience in the group coaching process? I continue to blog. If you've never been at the Group Coaching blog, please stop on by groupcoaching.blogspot.com. 10 years of posts. So I've been doing this for a long time. It's really exciting to now bring it more into a verbal channel, and it's going to be a regular something. So if people have questions, please feel free to throw them in the message box. I'm going to do one last shout out to see if anyone would like to join me with a live question. There is an open seat. If you are new to Blab Technology, you can actually just click on the seat, open seat. I'll open it up for you and your live question. So last call for questions today. Anything related to group coaching? What was her site again? Okay, so my main site for the blog, groupcoaching.blogspot.com. My company's name is Potentials Realized, but if you're a coach and interested in group coaching issues, you'll want to check out groupcoachingessentials.com. And that is actually a coach training program I offer. If anyone's in the Toronto area, next weekend, the weekend of November 7th and 8th, I'm hosting a 2-day 19 CCE continuing coach education program called the Group and Team Coaching Intensive. In 2 days, we take a deep, deep dive into the theory and the practice of group and team coaching, giving you ample opportunity to practice and get feedback on your skills. Over my shoulder here, you see some of the materials already coming together. So check us out, groupcoachingessentials.com. I'm Jennifer Britton. I'm the author of Effective Group Coaching and From One to Many Best Practices for Team and Group Coaching. Want to thank all of you for joining me today. We've had some good engagement. Again, open invitation if you're back with us on November the 12th. Please bring your questions, because I'm hoping to dedicate the last 15 minutes of every call to that. These blabs are available after the call at our YouTube channel, and that is also Effective Group Coaching. So with that, I think I'm going to sign off. I've got a group starting in 19 minutes. Be well, enjoy your work with groups, and look forward to your feedback as well. If you ever want to reach out to me, info@potentialsrealized.com is my handle. Thanks for the love, and hope that you'll join us again here at the Group Coaching Design Studio. Take care, everyone.